Well, good afternoon and happy Saturday to you. Dr. Preston Winfrey here. And what a joy and what a delight it is for me to have this another opportunity to share with you on this beautiful Saturday. I want to give a special holler out to my one wife. Today is her birthday, and happy birthday to you. I know that she'll see this. I thought to have her to make the video with me, but then I decided against it. Thought I would just let her chill and enjoy her very special day. I'm happy to greet you in the name of our Lord. And how in the world are you today? Hope that you've had a great week. I've had a great week. Been catching up on some rest and relaxation, and how wonderful it is. How good it is to just kind of treat yourself to some good R&R. Have you tried that lately? Listen, you just going from one point to the next point, running here, doing this, doing that, and trying to make some space and time for yourself. And, the reality is that space is never there, the time is never there, because there's always something that you must do, something you need to do, something you want to do, something you forgot to do, something that you didn't finish. There's always going to be another project. And so you have to, on your calendar, pencil in, put it in ink, say, this is the time I'm going to take away and do some things for me. And what a joy it is. Even Jesus didn't just do ministry. He did take the time to get away and get some R&R and tell the disciples, fellas, you all go on. I'll catch up with you later. And sometimes we have to be that way too in our lives. We just have to say, you know what? I'll catch up later. But right now, this is for me. And so, to God be the glory. I'm alive. I'm in my right mind with a reasonable portion of my health and strength. And I am so thankful to the Lord for that. I want to talk today from this subject. Don't lose your cool. Don't lose your cool. Have you ever lost your cool? And when I say cool, I'm talking about your composure. Um, where your countenance changes, your whole disposition changes because of some of the crazy things people have said or done to you directly or indirectly. Chances are this has happened to you. And if it did, and I know that it has, then I want to assure you that you're in good company. And since it has happened, I'm sure you've had mixed emotions on, okay, so just how should I handle this situation? What should I do about it? Should I, let me see, should I strike out? Should I try and even the score? Um, should I get some paper plates and start throwing them at people? Well, the sad part concerning this is you could have been minding your own business, only to have fallen victim to some of the thoughtless deeds of people. And the issue is, how do you handle these situations? How do you deal with this treatment that's stemming from others? Sometimes the treatment comes from people you don't even know, people who have no affiliation with you, people who've never even been in conversation with you, but how some people can just on general principle decide that they need to say something about you and your character, assassinate your character, demean you. Sometimes it's treatments from people you know, and that's really sad and it can be kind of disheartening at the same time, especially when it's family or people who consider themselves friends. Makes you say, with friends like that, who needs enemies? You know, but how do you handle it? How do you deal with it? And no matter how good you try to live as an individual, you're going to always encounter some people who will do evil things. These people will do all in their power to get you off your square, get you off the path of doing right. You know, and what do? Ultimately, they try to persuade you to partner with them in their state of evil. And of course, if you a person with high morals, you have integrity, you say, no, I can't stoop that low, or I refuse to stoop that low, because there are people who get upset with you because you won't join them in their evil pursuits. And evil people or evil acting people, they prey on the innocent and the unsuspecting. What are some of the things they do? Well, they will lie on you, and they will lie to you for no apparent reason. Sometimes they'll spread malicious gossip about you and on those you love. The old folks say, they'll throw a brick and hide their hand. They'll look so innocent. Some of them can look so godly, like, oh, praise the Lord, and you know that something is up. And, sometimes things can be revealed to you by the Lord that people are doing things, people are saying things. And I don't believe that He always reveals these things to us for us to act on, but sometimes He reveals them to us just so that we will keep our eyes open, so that we'll know um, what to avoid and who to avoid. People who act evil like this, they strive on negativism and confusion and mess, and more mess. As my niece in Mississippi would say, just messy, messy, messy. And sometimes they appear to be your friends, but they really can't stand you because you're going in a different direction. Maybe you're on a mission. You have a purpose in life, and you know what it is that you want to do. You have a sense of where you belong and where you're going, and they do everything they can to keep you from reaching and achieving your goals. Sometimes they'll blurt out of their mouths whatever comes up, and you know it's coming from the evil hearts. Finally, because of their shallowness of mind and their inferiority complexes, they find it necessary to put you down, and they will put others down. And I'm often trying to figure this thing out, like, what's the purpose? What's behind this? What propels a person just on general principle to dislike you? You know, well, you know, who knows? I mean, I'm sure the Lord knows. Sometimes I don't think the person who's doing all the evil really understand why. They just sometimes they can't help it, and got to fight. Something in me says you make sure that no one else gets ahead of you. And so people can be upset with you for any number of reasons. So, how do you handle that? How should you handle it? You can't stay up all night, and it's senseless to stay up all night putting your ear to the ground trying to determine where things are coming from, who they're coming from, because you never know. You could be, who knows, sleeping with the enemy. The enemy can just tell you, oh, I love you, I love you, I love you, I'm with you. And the enemy will always point from themselves to others. They say, hey, now that one there you have to watch. Yeah, you know what they're saying about you. I've known people who would come and make statements such as, well, people are upset with you. Okay, well, who's upset? Well, I uh, promised them I wouldn't say. Well, what are they upset about? I promised, they made me promise not to say anything about it. But I just wanted you to know they're upset. Well, then it makes you look at that person who's bringing you that information. Because if it is a problem that I need to address, uh, most assuredly, they should be bringing that problem to me and saying, well, this is the problem. But when people are messy and when people are up to no good, they will just never reveal their hand, but their hearts, their dirty, evil hearts, will always be um, shown. So in the 37th number of Psalms, and you get time, I would encourage you to just read it. David tells us how to deal with such wicked acting people. No, he does not instruct us to play with, or he doesn't say, have a conversation with them. He doesn't say fellowship with them, nor does he tell us to straighten them out. And that's always something within us that says, you know what, I need to straighten this situation out. I need to get them told. Well, sometimes um, you're better off not saying anything. You just do what you need to do. As we say in the hood, handle your business. Keep people at arm's length. And sometimes you have to deal with them, put a 10-foot pole in between you and them in order to maintain your own coolness, your own sanity. So David in the 37th Psalm gives us an antidote to dealing with evil doers in two words. He says, fret not. It's there, and it doesn't matter which translation of the Bible you use. It's going to basically be telling you the same thing. Do not get bent out of shape because of the evil practices of others. Don't become, in other words, inflamed. Don't be set on fire. Don't allow an arousal of strong emotions to govern you. He is saying, fret not. Don't fret. Don't lose your cool over this. Not only does he tell us not to fret, but he tells us why. He says, because they will soon be chopped down or cut down, and they're going to wither. Now, God doesn't move in our time. And I know, listen, I get it. I live in the real world just as you do. And I have often wondered, Lord, how long? How long? Lord, when are you going to get them? Lord, when are you going to stop them? God has a sense of humor. And sometimes with the sense of humor, I don't always find it hilarious because sometimes I'm thinking, Lord, you need to do something like right away. But I can appreciate the patience of God with others who do evil, and especially towards me, because I can recall the times when I've done evil towards others, and the Lord didn't chop me down right there. I mean, He didn't zap me, He didn't send a bolt of lightning and kill me. Then, sometimes He allowed me to persist until I saw my own evil ways, and then had to suffer with the humiliation of my unkind works or my evil works. And sometimes that's how he works in the lives of others. But David says, don't fret because of evildoers, and don't be envious because of the workers of iniquity, because they will soon be cut down. And you have to take God at his word. So listen, I'm not sure what you're going through today. I'm not sure what your week has been like. I'm not sure with what issues you are facing that causes grief to your heart, that keeps you in a state of restlessness. But what I can tell you, don't lose your cool. Don't lose your cool. Hold on to um, your integrity. Hold on to who you are and what you are. Stay focused on what your mission is. What is your assignment for life? Listen, sometimes sickness come upon you, and people will make statements such as, "Oh, like Job's friends, must be something you did." Because God, He's too loving and too kind to do wrong. Well, listen, everyone gets their day in the sun, everyone gets their day in the shade, and then everyone gets their day in the fire, you know. But when we start talking about evildoers, I'm a witness that evildoers are and will be here. You know, you're praying, Lord, get rid of them. I'm not sure that's what his assignment is. I'm not sure that's what his intentions are. But we cannot stop them. But what we can do, we can deal with them according to what the Bible says. And David shares with us what to do when evil doers come our way. In verse 11, David says that the meek will inherit the earth in just a little while and shall have an abundance of peace. You know, and, when I fast forward, I look at Jesus, who had to deal with people who were acting evil, people who were jealous of him, people who were mad. I mean, just outright belligerently mad because he went about doing good. And I mean, I'm nowhere near where Jesus was in this regard, but I'm here to tell you that Jesus shows us how to deal with people who act wicked, people who do evil. Here Jesus is in the Garden of Gethsemane praying, and then from there he's finds himself on a cross. I mean, he went to the cross for you and for me. Now, Jesus could have retaliated, and you know that because he had the power. He says, listen, he told Peter, I could call, you know, angels, uh, and heaven would dispatch those angels on my behalf. He says, but what I'm going through is what I came to go through. And I'm here to tell you that, my friend, sometimes what you're going through is the very reason why you're here. Not so that God can see how you're going to respond or react, but sometimes it's a lesson in it. Maybe there's something for you to learn, something for you to see, maybe for some future development in your life. And you just have to trust God. Don't trust a formula. Trust God. Trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not to your own understanding. In everything you do, acknowledge God, and He will direct your path. Listen, I know He will. He has done it for me so many times, and He keeps on doing great and greater things for me, whereof I'm glad. Jesus did, He died on the cross, and they put Him in a borrowed tomb. And, you would think that that was it. No, He stayed there over the weekend, but on the third day, early Sunday morning, He arose victoriously with all power in His hand. And He says, as many as received me, to them I'll give power to become the sons of God, even to them that believe on my name. So, my friend, there you have it. I want to encourage you today. Don't lose your cool. Don't lose your cool. Hold on to your integrity. Job's wife asked him, say, are you going to hold on to your integrity? Why don't you just go ahead and curse God and die? He says, listen, I brought nothing in this world. Um, and he says, one thing I do know, my Redeemer lives. In other words, baby, I'm going to hold out. I'm going to hold on because the God that I serve is faithful. And if you're listening today and you don't have this God in your life, I wouldn't put off another day. I would make up in my mind, listen, I am going to serve the Lord. Joshua said, as for me and my house, we will serve the Lord. Listen, this is Dr. Winfrey saying, I love you. Have a great rest of today. And listen, get up and go to the church house tomorrow and spend some time with the saints and those who are not saints. Um, Pray that you hear a great word, and that as a result of hearing that word, you're going to be all the better for it. You'll be able to leave out of there with a made up mind that when evil comes, not if, but when evil comes my way, I'm prepared. I'm equipped. I'm throwing the whole arm of God. I'm equipped. I'm not going to fret. I'm going to trust in the Lord, and I'm going to do good, and He's going to give me the desires of my heart. All right, this is Dr. Winfrey saying, until next time we get together, thank you for joining me. May the Lord bless you, and may He keep you real good. That's my prayer. That's Ralph Lawson Jr. on the organ. Bad brother. I'm going to let him finish out, and then I'll close it up.